afternoon. Today is gonna be pretty chill. I'm in about 10 to 12-ish minutes. I'm actually gonna have an interview that I volunteered for. Let me explain. So this guy posted, sorry, just let me pull up, I pulled up the message. So I'm in this Facebook group. It's called Zero Waste Edmonton, and this guy posted if anyone would like to volunteer to be interviewed about how waste is important to them and how they control their waste. I think that's it. And then I agreed to be interviewed, you know, because I'm doing nothing, and I just think it'd be interesting to talk to someone with the same interests as I am, and that is preventing waste. So I commented in his post and I said I'd be happy to help, and then he sent me a PM. There was a couple people who volunteered too. So basically he says that it's kind of like a podcast format, but I'd be doing the talking most of the time according to his message here on Facebook. It's mostly questions about wastefulness, and he's just trying to understand my answers at a deeper level. Yeah, I'm actually excited about the part that he said that I'd be doing the talking most of the time, because I feel like if you ask me a question about the environment, anything about the environment, I would just start talking and almost not stop. I remember having this assignment question on one of my courses this past semester, this winter. The chapter was about environment, and the assignment question was give five things on how to help prevent waste, and it was like it was the perfect question for me. And I only had 30 minutes to answer. And you know, 30 minutes is a lot. But I took the assignment question so seriously that there was only like 30 seconds left before I submitted the assignment. I mean, it said there like list and explain how it's gonna help. But I think like there's 5 things that you need to list. But I think every single item or thing that I listed, I had like a paragraph. So basically I had like 5 paragraphs during my assignment. I think I got too invested on that assignment, and I put too much effort, but I had fun because it was like sharing my opinion to another person. And I feel like if they read some of my ideas, it might help them become more aware of the environment, you know. So yeah, I've been talking too much. It's 4:53. We scheduled the video call at 5, so I'll see you guys later. Yes, but I always had like a previous interest about it. It wasn't just like just the metal straws. I've always been concerned with what's happening in the environment like throughout the years as I was growing up. So yeah, I think that was just like a trigger to start being mindful of my waste, like the metal straw trend. Yeah. Okay. And it's not always cheap, you know. There's like cheap alternatives on how you can lessen your waste, but if you want to, you know, maybe switch to a reusable item, it is more expensive and it is a privilege, and not everyone can afford it. So it's a very complicated concept, wastefulness. Because I know people want to lessen their waste. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone wants to, you know, but not everyone has, like, the money, the ability to do it, because we're all in different kinds of statuses in life. So that's what my take on it.
So what's the problem with, what are the problems if there are multiple or there's one or whatever, you know? What's the problem with being wasteful?
I think throughout the years they made it very convenient to be wasteful. People are lazy by nature, I think. It's just human nature, and people don't put effort in a lot of stuff. And lessening your waste takes effort. You have to be mindful. You have to be aware, you have to be disciplined to be able to join this low waste lifestyle. And plastic, disposable stuff, it's very convenient to just throw it away and not think about where it's gonna end up. They live in a small country, and because of global warming, the glacier became a lake. It melted into a lake. So something that wasn't there before was created because of global warming, and that's not a positive thing, because it shouldn't be there in the first place. So I think that's like negative impacts of wastefulness.
In reality, everyone does not just study consumer behavior, but specifically buying behavior, like why consumers buy things, when do they buy it, how can you make them buy more, how can you make them pay more for that same product, and all that stuff. So it's focused on the acquisition side. And what's happening is because of all this, and not just because of the kind of research that happens in marketing, but otherwise a lot of other factors, just economic, political, social factors, there's a lot of buying that's happening.
Yeah.
And which in turn, as which kind of connects to what you were saying, buying is connected to disposing as well. The more you buy, the more you end up throwing away things as well. There's a possibility of that happening. And a lot of waste is created. Unfortunately, in consumer behavior, we don't study waste, or consumer wastefulness is what we call. So I wanted to do that. I wanted to study the other side of consumer behavior, which is waste.
That's really great.
Right? So so that's what I do, and my focus is on the first thing that I'm trying to do in this my research is try to define what wastefulness really means. So till now, and I'm quickly sharing with what I've understood. Like till now, the dominant paradigm, or like the dominant definition has been, when you throw away things, you're wasteful. Okay? Yes. So it's associated with the act of discarding things, because when you throw away anything in the trash can, it's most likely going to landfill. Even if you throw something in the recycling bin, it's probably not going to get recycled, and a lot of other challenges are, when recycling could be energy intensive, so that's why there are no incentives to recycle also. Yeah. So and for some reason I felt that that's obsolete, that's outdated. We cannot measure waste, and as you said, just cannot happen at the last step. We need to start thinking further upstream, like when we buy things as well. So and that's where I'm trying to come up with understand, conceptualize wastefulness, and that framework touches upon like what kind of buying behaviors that people engage in result in wastefulness, what kind of usage behavior, like you kind of talked about something like consuming more than you need. So if I have 10 apples, if I eat 10 apples, 12 apples, I'm consuming all of them, right? But am I still being wasteful? Define that, like what do needs mean, and therefore define, anything more than this is actually wasteful. So at the usage level, and then of course at the disposition level, which is like the last stage when you discard something, that is wasteful. So I'm trying to develop this framework to understand wastefulness at 3 levels, and once I've done that, and which have partly done, I'm also trying to understand, what can you do to make consumers less wasteful? Can I identify newer sources of wastefulness? So for example, storing possessions indefinitely. So a lot of times what we do is we have something, we just put it in our closet, or we have a toaster. Like I had a toaster once and I did not use it. I bought it, I thought I'm going to use it. I used it for the first 2-3 months. I'm excited about it. Yeah. And then for some sudden reason I stopped, eating bread, so I don't use the toaster anymore. And it sits there. Yeah. Like 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, it just sits there. So the question is, am I being wasteful? I should have actually given it to someone else.
Yeah, that would use it.
Who would have made use of it. And that person would have not to, they did not have the need to buy a new one. So a new one was not made, and no extra resources were extracted from the environment to make this new toaster. So I'm probably at my level, just by having that toaster and not using it, I'm probably not wasteful, but the entire system, because the system is consuming more, someone who needed it had to buy it, and I bought it also, but then only one toaster is getting used, but the system acquired 2. So at the system level, there is...
I totally agree with
inefficient.
that. I totally agree with that, yeah.
So I'm trying to understand it in that way, and therefore, what can you do to encourage consumers to dispose of possessions that they are not using? So if you have a jacket, and if you're not using that jacket, what can you do to, what can I do, or what can I ask you to do in order to, if you do those things, then you'll become more motivated to actually dispose of that jacket. So I'm trying to work on that. I'm running studies over there. I don't. Anything else?
No, that's everything. It was very fun.
Yeah. I'm sorry if I asked you stupid questions, but
no, I found it. No, they're not stupid. I enjoyed them very much. I like imparting my knowledge or my opinions about like the wastefulness. Because I never really have anyone to talk to.
So I was able to cover a lot of ideas that you mentioned, and maybe I'll try to put them into my framework and see how they fit. And if I can't put them in my framework, then I have to expand my framework to incorporate these ideas as well. So yeah, thank you so much, Gail.
Yeah, no worries. I'm making milk tea. Ayaw mo pa ng milk tea? Ayaw niya ng milk tea. I'm making homemade milk tea. Because I don't want to buy the cocoa one. It's too expensive. You save money and you lessen your waste by making your own milk tea at home. So what I do with the tapioca, I just bought mine. I bought this one at TNT, and then you have to boil water first, and then put the tapioca pearls in the boiling water, and then I just let it boil for around 15 to 20 minutes, and then I turn off the heat, and then I let the tapioca pearls sit in the hot water on the stove for 10 more minutes. So you're kind of cooking it for 30 minutes, and I think 30 minutes is like the perfect amount of time to cook it, because it makes it not too hard and makes it chewy and really good. And I'm gonna try to make it into like a brown sugar tapioca. I'm making rice. I'm making tapioca. Eating. And I'm also watching King of Mask Singer, the Korean version, the original version. I'm watching it because Kang Seung-yoon guessed it. It's the only reason I'm watching it again, but I've actually watched it before. Very, very interesting. Very entertaining too. So yeah. And the banana bread that I made as a snack while waiting for the rice and the milk tea. Okay, you gotta keep stirring throughout while cooking the tapioca pearls so it won't stick to the bottom of the pan. I'm stirring. I already moved it to a lower heat. This one's fast boil, so it heats up faster and it's like a higher temperature. This one much slower temperature, and I'm gonna turn this off in about 10 minutes. I'm just gonna let it sit. That's how you get your tapioca. So I'm just stirring so it doesn't stick. I mean, you can feel some of the tapioca being cooked and sticking to the bottom of the pan. You just want to scrape that. This guy won. Come on! I knew it. He was a better singer. Better singer. Let's say 70 to 20. 7 to 2. Yep, 7 to 2. So it should look like this after letting it sit. And then now we're gonna put brown sugar. Now this one is actually not brown sugar, it's called demerara. Brown sugar is actually a mix of demerara and white sugar. So we're gonna do half and half. Okay, 1 cup. 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 1 cu brown sugar tapioca. This is my favorite part. Okay, that's such a fail.
Ew.
Have you never tasted brown sugar tapioca?
Me? No. Because you never made it.
You are missing out. No, like buying it from
Brown
cocos. Yeah.
I
It's
don't
the
think
best
so.
new thing.
I can buy Earl Grey because I'm too scared to buy anything else.
What?
Yeah. I don't explore. I'm done.
Then what they do is they swirl it around the cup, so it has this kind of web design-ish, whatever.
You're cleaning it.
Camelou, huh?
You're cleaning it. Okay.
Oh, no cleaning.
Yeah.
That.
Duh.
Didn't you hear my explanation? You swirl it around the cup for the desired design. Gab, are you done cleaning?
Or something.
I don't know that. I just have a laptop.
There's an emulator online. You can play for free.
Oh my god, it's spilling. Spilling? Spilling.
English. One order, y'all fail.
It's such a fail. I hate this teapot.
Suck.
Okay, it's, oh my god, it's like so annoying. Okay, it's about the same height. I spilled so much. Yeah. Is that good enough? And then I really like strong tea. So it's probably mine or this one. It's the same actually. Then we're gonna put lots of ice. Should that be enough? Yeah, it's just enough. Since it's really hot, we're gonna put tons of ice. Oh my god, that's such a bad idea. Okay. Okay. I think that should be enough. Ta-da! Super proud. And then you taste it. You stir it and then you taste it for if you want to adjust it. Ta-da! Yay! Which one's mine? This is mine. Taste it. See how satisfying it looks? Oh. Hopefully it tastes good. It can't be just about the blue. Please taste
What
good.
if it's just sweet? Taste it.
I just need the tea to taste good. Stir it so the ice kind of melts and then it cools down your tea.
My turn.
We don't want a warm milk tea. I like it very much. So mo tikman?
Sure.
What do you think?
Usually I don't really like tea, but this kind of tea, I would say is underrated. So, I'm not saying it's the best, but it's not the worst.
Thanks. Because I don't know. Whatever. It's good. It's actually pretty good. So I finally made the recipe after trial and error for almost a year. So I'm gonna share the secret. My recipe for this one, 1 bag, well this is for like 3 people. So 1 bag of green tea and then 1 bag of jasmine tea. And it makes the perfect taste. I don't know, it's just like regular milk tea that I like. It doesn't taste like the cocoa one obviously. But it's pretty similar because if the first time that I bought Because I think this is the third time I cooked the tapiocas. And the first time and the second time, no, the first time that I cooked it, I only did 2 bags of jasmine tea and it did not taste good. The aftertaste was just too strong, and then I just experimented. I did 1 sachet of green tea and then 1 sachet of 1 bag of jasmine. Green tea and jasmine tea is really good together. So I'm gonna try and keep doing that for the rest of my boba career until I discover something else.
Your boba career, okay.
Homemade boba career. Okay, that's it for now. Say bye. See you later for another self-isolation update. Goodbye.